Welcome back to the Oakland Athletics franchise, here for another edition of the monthly recap. We have finished the first month of the season, so April is over. We are now moving into the month of May, and we're going to go over the month of April, the signings, which we didn't have any, just the lineups, the people, just all the stuff that we need to go over in in month one. So first things first, the Oakland Athletics have finished the first month a disappointing 12-15. Last year making to the ALCS, and starting this season off 12-15 is not where we want to be, as the A's are currently sitting at 4th place in the division, which is only 4.5 games back, and it's only a month into the season, so there's plenty of time to catch up and make up their ground. But as of right now, the A's are not in a good spot. But it's not panic time, because it's still in the end of the first month. I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments who are just going to be like, trade everyone! Well, that's not happening. So, now moving on to the league leaders, and we're only really going to talk about one of those, as Matt Olson, who is, I think, struggling a lot, but for somehow, the guy has a 321 OBP despite hitting 136, and he has no home runs, but he's getting on base at a decent amount for a guy who's only hitting 136, and that's because he's somehow 3rd in the American League in walks. I don't know how, but he is. I know he has very high discipline, and I'm guessing that's working, but nothing else is for this guy, as he just can't hit any home runs, he can't get on base any other way. He's not doing his job. He's not in the lineup to walk and be on base as a speedster. He's in the lineup to hit home runs, and that's pretty much the only reason he's in the big leagues. Now moving on to the rotation, the bullpen, and the lineups. The rotation 1 to 5 as it stands right now is Sonny Gray, Jesse Hahn, Henderson Alvarez, J.R. Newman, and Rafael Montero. Out of those 5, Hahn got off to a pretty shaky start, but his ERA isn't too bad, while Alvarez and Montero, they got off to pretty abysmal starts. But Montero's calmed down lately, and Alvarez is pretty much still getting rocked every single time he goes out there on the mound. In the bullpen, the middle relievers are Arodys Vizcaíno, Fernando Rodriguez, Alex Torres, Liam Hendricks, Tyler Clippard, and Ryan Madsen are the setup guys, and then the closer is Sean Doolittle. Moving on to the lineup versus right-handed pitching, leading things off is Gerard Dyson, followed by third baseman Solarte, who is really only one of the bats that's actually doing a lot. He's getting on base as he does, that's what Solarte is. He's a contact hitter who gets on base, followed by second baseman Steven Pearce, first baseman Matt Olson, DH Chris Davis, catching Stephen Vogt, shortstop Jose Miguel Fernandez, right field Sean Andino, and then center field rounding things out, and that lineup is Billy Burns. While against left-handed pitching, it's leading off Billy Burns in center field, followed by third base Solarte, DH Bautista, right field Chris Davis, first base Steven Pearce, left field Monty Mason, catching is Stephen Vogt, Jose Miguel Fernandez at second base, and then Franklin Barreto at shortstop. And now these lineups are probably going to change a decent amount in the month of May, as they are not really getting the job done right now. The pitching needs to settle down as well, but the lineup isn't really getting the job done as well either. So people could be sent down, people could be called up, and people could be shifted around in the lineup. You never really know what's going to happen. So expect some changes in the lineup throughout this month. And now moving on to the minor league update portion of this monthly recap. This isn't going to be too long of a video, as there wasn't too much to go over. We didn't have like 15 league leaders on our team to go over. We didn't have a whole bunch of stats to go over. It's pretty much just the teams that are performing right now. It's only the first month of the season, so it's not too much to worry about, but lineups are probably going to be shifted around and stuff. So in the minors, there are a couple guys who are performing pretty well, and if they keep performing at this pace, they're going to be working their way into the major league lineup somehow. And the guys who are struggling might be sent down. So, minor league updates. Ramon Benitez, the catcher who we keep raving about, is hitting .293 with 2 home runs, 15 RBI, and 99 at-bats. This guy is going to be the catcher of the future. Who knows? Maybe it could be a possibility that if Olson keeps playing poorly, he might go down to AAA, try to get his shit together, and then come back up maybe later in the season, but it depends on if I'll probably have Benitez catch if I send down Olson, and then Stephen Vogt play first, as Vogt is getting up there in years, and Benitez is going to be the catcher of the future. Darren Ruff is a first base option as well, but he can really only hit against left-handed pitching. But in the minor leagues, he's killing, as he's hitting .286 with 5 home runs and 25 RBI in 105 at-bats. Walter Zambrano is also a guy who's raking down in AAA. He's hitting .342 with 7 home runs, 15 RBI, and 76 at-bats, so he's doing quite well to be potential third base prospect who can also play second and short. He's not very good in the field, though, so I mean, he can play those. He's just not going to be playing those very well. Mark Canha is hitting .281 with 6 home runs, 22 RBIs, and 89 at-bats. Mark Canha, as you know, was sent down at the end of last season because he was just, well, bad. Very bad. Just did not do well at all. Just not good. And right now in AAA, he's doing pretty well. So if some of these outfielders keep struggling, Mark Canha might find his way into the lineup somehow in the big leagues. As far as the pitching side of things goes, if Alvarez or Montero, if somebody keeps struggling, Kendall Graveman could find himself in the rotation in the big leagues, as he right now is pretty much dominating down in AAA. He's 3-0 with a 2.43 ERA with a 1.05 whip. He's just getting the job done down there. So Kendall Graveman could find himself in the big leagues. He could not. Maybe a bullpen role. You never really know. It's just these are guys who are performing down in the minors, and they're probably going to be the next batch of guys to be called up if someone needs to get sent down or someone gets injured. These guys are probably going to be the guys that you see get called up. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Oakland Athletics monthly recap here as we went over the month of April. Now we're heading into the month of May, as I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
Gun blast, think fast, I think I'm hit. My girl pinched my hips to see if I still exist. I think not, I'll send a letter to my friends. A born again hooligan, only to be king again.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you.